Drill 92.3 Bootleg Kev DJ Hed.
West Coast.
D Smoke in here.
Yo, Inglewood.
The album officially out.
It's out.
Shout out to D Smoke, man.
Yes,
Hey, you know what?
shout out to me.
First and foremost, I want to say this. ¿Qué tal?
¿Qué tal? Aquí nomás.
Hey, that's all I got. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
we started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, for sure. Hey, everybody. I thought I was gonna get like a countdown or something.
Nah, this is it.
Nah,
Okay,
it's
for
already
sure.
it, bro.
For
We in
sure,
the
for
middle of
sure.
the
We
interview
in.
right now, man.
Okay, cool.
Hey, in Spanish, tell LA why they should get your album, bro.
Ustedes deben conseguir mi álbum porque no hay nada en todo el mundo que suena como mi álbum. Hay temas diferentes que van a encontrar en mis canciones.
Try to pull up that
La
Google
I got
música.
the Google Translate. Go.
Hey. Tenemos unos features también que son maravillosos. Tenemos Snoop Dogg on there.
Snoop's on the album.
We got Jill Scott on there.
Oh,
And of course we got we got my family on there. We got Sir. I got my mama on there.
Okay.
Mama's on the album.
That's a veteran that a lot of people may not know has contributed greatly to the world of music, in gospel, and as well as touring and singing background with some of our greats. She sang with Michael Jackson, Tina Turner,
crazy.
That's crazy.
So she's there. A friend of mine, Iguocho, she's on the song with Jill Scott. So it's a beautiful musical composition, with some dope lyrics in there, if I may say so.
With some
myself.
dope lyrics. You must say so. You
Yes.
will say so.
Yeah.
How much
I will.
Espanol we getting into on
How
the
much
album?
Espanol? We gonna say you got about, I would say 20%.
20%.
There are some significant moments in Spanish on my project, but it's a very black project. So when we did it, we were selective on how we used that. But
So when you say that means Kev can't listen to it?
yeah, Kev can listen.
Okay.
To it. You can listen to it, and it's just enough to where
Damn,
you
bro.
never feel lost.
I'm just asking.
I fucking
He
was,
said
I
it's
was 12 years old listening to Dead Prez, bro. Fuck you.
He said
He
it
ain't
was
know you.
very black. I just, maybe it was discriminatory.
No, not in any way.
Well, let's get to the album title then. Black Habits.
Black
Why-
Habits.
Why the title?
It's called Black Habits because it's a journey through my family's experience, and so Black Habits is like the good and the bad, the beautiful, the ugly of this black experience, and the habits part comes into play in several ways. Like it starts off with this morning prayer where the kids are kind of going through these affirmations with our affirmations with our mom, and at the end there's this prayer where one of the brothers says, and I pray that you bring my dad home from jail soon. So then that kind of introduces what the premise is, and so the habits, whatever caused this to be the situation, you finally get that backstory, so it's the habits of, in certain songs, Sun Kissed Child, for example, even though the lyrics are Sun Kissed Child, how dare you treat me, how dare they treat you rude, I'll hurt you, kiss your wounds. So it's a real healing song with Jill Scott and with Iguocho, but then the story behind it is like the story of drugs, incarceration. So it kind of picks up where when the kids pull off, when the kids pull up left off,
Yeah,
like the
it's a
story of
sequel.
Pops. You know what I'm saying? It sounds very different to when the kids pull up. DJ Battlecat produced that one, along with Rants from 1500.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's these drug habits. I deal with my bad habits, my experiences, my failures, successes. Ups and downs with women. So it's just going through these black experiences.
What are your bad habits?
What are my bad habits?
If you had to say, what are your vices, man?
What are my vices? I'm gonna go with I overwork sometimes, and sometimes I overthink. I'm very self-critical at times when I can be just like, take it easy, Smoke, you're doing well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be like, keep your foot on their neck, Smoke, you're doing your shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's just our norm. You know what I'm saying? So that's a vice. I used to blow heavy. People,
Really?
My name was D Smoke before I ever smoked. And then, then early in my 20s, so I'm a late bloomer in that sense. In my 20s, I started blowing heavy. And then because my name was already Smoke, you could imagine that niggas would pull up to the studio. Like, I think the only person other than Uncle Snoop who people be like, I want to smoke with that nigga. Like, I think I'm kind of approaching that. Wiz, niggas want to smoke with Wiz,
Yeah.
niggas ain't no smoke. But even more so because my name is Smoke and I'm not known for just blowing down the house. Niggas be like, I want to smoke with them. So when I was smoking, niggas would pull up to the studio with just like
big weed,
and just be like, Smoke, we smoking with Smoke. You know what I'm saying? So
you're not smoking anymore?
I'm not.
How long have you been off the
off
weed?
the old ganja? I've been off for probably like about 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, about 4 years.
I did see,
I know I've smoked a couple times within there. You know what I'm saying?
but I saw you in the lab with Snoop.
I was in the lab with Snoop,
and we weren't tempted at all. Like,
no, it's not. I'm not tempted. The thing is, I don't mind smoking. Right? Like if I liked being high, then I would smoke with Snoop. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I don't care to be high. The mindset that I'm in, it's like I enjoy my normal mindset. So
facts, me too.
I'm like, man, I don't have to be high. And the last couple times I smoked, I did it to smoke with that person, not to get high. So I was like, oh, you my nigga, pass me that. You know what I'm saying? Like I smoked a minute ago, I smoked with Jill Scott. You
really?
know what I'm saying? And that was past the point when I had stopped smoking, but Jill was like, here you go, baby. And I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Jill Scott.
Yeah.
When Jill Scott passed you the blunt, what you gonna do?
I mean, I'm not gonna hit it.
Not you, but this is rhetorical.
No, I get it. I get it.
Exactly. So that's where I was at. And and at the time, it wasn't even when we was working on this. She was working on a Spanish song, and that we have to get back to doing, And so that was a moment, you know what I'm saying, where I was like, oh, we're gonna revisit this. I didn't smoke with Snoop.
I mean,
because it's not an event when Snoop smoke. It's like this is just what he do.
That's true.
So Snoop ain't tripping.
I feel like there's like those buckets, like, okay, if you
Kev want to smoke with Snoop.
I already have.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Wiz, Willie Nelson. Like Willie Nelson, you're going to smoke with Willie Nelson. Any of the Marleys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's this. How would you describe the album? Like, obviously, Inglewood High came out right after the show ended. Great body of work, but I'm assuming that a lot of that you've been sitting on for a while, because
well,
or was it all rather new around that time?
So Inglewood High was rather new, right? So Black Habits has moments from long before the show, and by long before the show, like up to a year prior to the show being filmed. So now we're a year away from the show being filmed. So 2 years ago, Black Habits, there's some songs as old as that, but then there are also some songs that we did, 3 weeks ago that barely made, the deadline, or didn't make the deadline, but somehow we managed to still get it on the project. Whereas Inglewood High, most of those songs, if not, I would say out of the 7 songs on there, 5 of them happened after the show finished airing.
Ah, okay.
2 of them were like 2 years before we filmed.
Wow.
Honey Jack was a song that I had done years ago. It was when I had a storefront on Manchester and La Brea. When Terrace came through, we used to do events there and sell merch and promote our music and all that stuff.
Right. Shout out to Woodworks.
Shout out to Woodworks. You know what I'm saying? Head came through there. So that's where Terrace came through and played on there at the upstairs kind of loft studio we had in there. And then what's the other one? The last song on Inglewood High, Carry On. So Carry On we had for a couple years as well, and that was a beat I did that I loved. And so we switched one of the verses out because we wanted to make that more, recent or whatnot. So, but a lot of that stuff most of it was from a couple months prior to releasing.
Was it like, it felt like, obviously, being 7 tracks, and you saying that there's a lot of old stuff on this project? Are you like approaching this project like it's like your debut? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'm approaching this project like the backstory that people who saw the show didn't get. You know what I'm saying? At this point in our career, I think it's like people will know that we weren't out to necessarily, we need a huge single or we need this kind of record. It was like, what do we want to walk away having told them about me? What do we want them to know by the time they've heard this whole body of work? And I think the truest part of my artistry or my plight, my journey as an artist is my family's experience. You know what I'm saying? There is no D-Smoke apart from how we came up in music. Right. We being my brother Sir, my brother Davion Ferris, my cousin Tiffany Goucher, my mom and uncle. There's a strong legacy of music in the family. So that the parts of that don't even have to do with music are the parts that I really wanted to tell, because some people be like, they put musicians on a pedestal because there's this talent element.
Right.
However, people don't know the sacrifices that go into being able to continue doing music, being able to, continue living your life, at a certain quality of life and make your passion the way you make ends meet.
It's a hard thing to do,
It's
man.
a hard thing to do. So, in doing so, it's naturally some ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And demons that you got to wrestle with, and that part of what my family went through is in that project.
Was that something like, obviously, even like when I started doing radio, I had to work for free for the first 2 years, and hustle at the swap meet. That's how I got my name, selling fake CDs and mixtapes and shit. But
there we go.
What was the other option for you? Because obviously you're so talented musically on all fronts, but I know that you're not you didn't just pop up, you've been putting in work for so long.
Absolutely.
And I know you did the teaching thing. Was what was the other thing that you're like, all right, this might not work? Or was there even ever a point in time where you're like, this might not work out?
There was no this might not work out. Not to me.
That wasn't an option.
There was no this might not work out, because I feel like I'm a strategic person. So anytime it's not working out in the time frame that I feel like it should have, then I go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, what's the next element to the strategy to continue pushing this along, right? So there was teaching, but even with teaching, my goal was to keep my living expenses below a certain point so that I can reinvest some of this money that I'm making in teaching. I was doing visuals at a level of quality higher than, some signed artists at the time.
Yo, your visuals are
saying?
whoever. I told you, I hit you about this. The coloring on your videos is fucking lit, bro. The Honey Jack video
that shit
is so
favorite.
amazing. Visually, just incredible.
It's just beautiful, and that was always the goal. Yeah,
very vivid.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about the simple fact that the amount of detail that goes in your video, because I remember you showing me, was it the Honey Jack video or was the other one?
Or Lil Red?
I think.
Which one?
No, it wasn't Lil Red. It was Honey Jack.
Okay.
When you was showing me, you was like, "Yeah, we got to go ahead and fix this," and I'm like, "Bro, the video done." And you
That's how we do it.
And you was like, "Nah, it's 3 things right here. I want them to fix." I'm like, "Bro, it's nothing to fix," and you it's just anyway, to touch on your strategy and how you approach things. Do people ever get irritated with you being so hands on?
People have.
Yeah.
People have, because the thing is, everybody's process is different, right? Some people go in and they're like, I don't want motherfuckers telling me how to edit. I'm married to the storyline that I have in my head, because videographers a lot of times are particular about what they want out of the end result. It's 2 things happening. You got an artist who's like, this is how I want to be represented. And then you got videographers who are like, my reel has X, Y, and Z, and I want it to have W. You know what I'm saying? This is where this project fits in for me. So you're trying to do certain things, and so, but in general, I've had those run-ins, but in general, directors love it when an artist knows what they want. You know what I'm saying? It makes things easier, because they're like, we can do a whole lot of stuff, but it's meaningful and it's new when you come in saying, this is what I want this project to be.
Makes their job easier.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to bring that up just because of the simple fact, I remember when we was in Japan, the video, I remember Greg showing me on the phone, and he was like, yeah, the shit ain't done. And then it's like, nigga, the video's done. The shit ain't done. It's like, okay, right. I guess it ain't, the video ain't done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I do want to talk about Japan real quick.
Yeah.
We got to go to Japan,
hey,
which was
funny, that story. I was like, hey, that's too true, bro.
Well, we went to Japan for New Year's. Okay. Well, first and foremost, this your first time in Japan.
Yes.
I do want to shout out to you. I haven't had a chance to do this publicly. D Smoke got on the plane before we had the money. You know what I'm saying? We just got on the plane, and he just got on the plane because I said it was good. Yeah. So shout out to D Smoke.
The wire didn't come through.
It didn't go
we
through
got
yet.
out there. We was like,
yeah,
damn.
So it was just blind faith. He was like, "You said it's good, we going."
Go out there, catch that coronavirus or some shit.
It's like 52,000 people are infected. 4 have died. Be terrified. Like 4 people died from a cold yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't buy into that bullshit.
No, but this is your first time in Japan.
Yes.
Just pure D Smoke perspective. What did you expect? Was it what you expected, or was it better or less? I mean, I know we never really talked about this.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I went into it open. You know what I'm saying? I had never if it was someplace similar to the places I've gone, I'd be like, all right, we can expect this, that, and the other. But Japan, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Bro. So it was beautiful though. Like it was beautiful. Japan is an interesting place. We was talking about how like they embrace hip hop culture so much.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
But it doesn't feel like any like appropriation shit, because it's like you take hip hop culture, then you add this very Asian sense of style and
Right.
excellence to it, and then you got people even just rocking some shit that we would rock in a whole new advanced scientific almost way. Like, damn, that's a fly ass.
They definitely got the
hip-hop-ass
whole
business fusion outfit with they whole
the
swag
blazer
is-
with the lime green
Man, I'm
pants.
talking about. That swag is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it's like I didn't notice it, but Hed pointed it out to me at one point. You could go into a public place full of people and some places still be quiet.
It's quiet.
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? It's just the mentality is different. It's this kind of like genius vibe about how they move through life. Like they got some things on their mind, so they
Yeah.
just not frivolously being like, I'm gonna just be out there wild, And then but it's also it's love. It was never where you went there and felt this energy change because
Right.
some black dudes walked in. We could be. It's like all of us, just all black dudes, with this Japanese tour guide, and then we go in there and we getting all the love in the world. So it was dope.
Hey, this girl cried. He ain't gonna talk about it. That's what I was going to. This girl lost her shit when we was in the store in the
Japanese
mall.
girl?
Japanese woman, don't speak no English.
Not a lick of
No English, and she was losing her shit, crying. She was puffing up.
Post the video. You got the video, right?
Craig got the video.
Okay, we're
We're gonna
I
show
gotta
the
see that
video.
gonna get
video.
you the video.
But yeah, so anyway, you a fucking celebrity. I do want to talk about you almost punching this Japanese man in the face.
Okay.
That wanted a picture. Maybe
Almost doesn't count.
maybe your
Almost did. I
maybe-
didn't punch him. I didn't.
You
punch
didn't
him.
punch him.
What
This
happened?
is true.
Why you trying to beat up
Man,
Asian
hey,
people,
look, this-
man?
I'm-
What they do?
Damn.
Go ahead, tell the story.
Oh, now I wanna beat up all of
I know my
Asian.
version. You tell.
That was
I
my
heard your version,
that was
and
my
it's not
best
far from the truth.
Okay.
So what
I think-
happened?
So we were we had long days, needless to say. We was out and about, and at the end of the night, we were on our way to get some ramen, and we had gone to a museum that day, all kind of stuff, right? And I was asleep in the car. So it was one of those like, hey, bump smoke. It's time
Right.
to hop out. I'm like, okay, shit, damn. Get out the car, we walking. I have not woken up yet, right? And my thing is, every day I try to forget that a grip of people know who I am, right?
Right,
That's
right.
still new to me.
Right.
Right? And I think it's healthy to forget because it's like, you maintain some degree of just humanity from just feeling like a day-to-day person, right? So I'm not out here thinking like, oh yeah, people know me. What's up?
Definitely
Peace,
not on that.
I'm not on that. We talking about some regular shit. And somebody runs up from behind me and literally grab my arm and is like, are you D-Smoke? And the arm grab almost got them the whole turnaround, bro. So, bro, it's just like in a split second.
It was a reflex.
I turned like, and it wasn't quick. It wasn't like I was just about to turn and sock him, but I turned ready to like snap. And then I saw the look in his eyes like, hey.
buddy.
Right,
I'm a
exactly.
fan.
Bro, and I felt bad. And then I had to tell him like, hey, bro, how you doing? Like, but like next
Don't
time,
don't
come
grab my
holler at
arm.
me. Like, if you change, my thing is, I don't mind none of that. I'm with the love, and I
Right.
feel it because it's coming from a genuine place. I feel like the energy we put out there on the show causes people to respond for the right reasons.
Right.
So when people come up, it's love, right? But if you change my direction, you've done something different. That's just a violation of a human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going this way, and you alter. That was a whole nother
You
thing.
altered my direction.
You altered my motion, my momentum, and that happened. So I was like, hey.
You held it though. You held it
I
back.
held it.
Yeah.
I did not swing.
Yeah.
I clenched.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro. And that was
Bro,
instinctive.
what he's not talking about is the horror. It's like this dude's face. He was just like he was trying to articulate that he wants a picture. Like he's doing this, and Smoke is like, yeah,
Now it had to come to me like,
yeah.
I'm the dude they saw on it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's crazy because, obviously coming from LA, now you got a record in with Game on his album.
Yes.
Snoop's on
Shout out to Game.
Snoop's on your album.
This is true.
I felt like when you were on the show, like a lot of people were like you got some Kendrick Lamar comparisons, which, you know, everyone gets compared to somebody, and Kendrick's one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
Have you
and early in Kendrick's career, he had to talk about, you know, calling him Kweli and Common proves ignorance
True.
is bliss.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a point in his career where he had so relatively compared to those already
people don't
legends.
remember when he was like a conscious underground rapper,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But like, I'm curious because that's a record I would love to hear. Like, have you had any communication with Kendrick?
Yes.
At all?
Yes, I met Kendrick at Day in Vegas Festival, and I'm a Kendrick fan.
Obviously, your brother signed to TDE.
His brother signed to TDE. I've been around. You know, I met Kendrick before the show. You know, we had when they were on the championship tour.
Okay.
You know, I think it was like Philly or something over there on the East Coast, and they were hitting. You know, most of TDE. It was like me, Sir, J-Rock, Kendrick, 2 T's, the security guard, and we were just hitting a workout, and it was push-up day. And it was literally, we gonna do 20 sets of 50 push-ups.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? So we gonna do 1,000
That
push-ups.
sounds horrible.
Right? And
Sounds like a bad idea.
And so that day, it was like, that was my first time kicking it with Kendrick. And, you know, I'm not gonna be on no fan shit. I'm sure
Right.
he's used to that. Sir's my brother, so, you know, we shook hands after that. We didn't share much of a word until it got to some old like pull-up contest. And he's naturally competitive, or muscle-ups where you pull up all the way through and then
Right.
push
Yep,
up
yep.
on the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
Like he did like 2. Then I got up
He
there
did 2.
without saying nothing, you know. But it's post-workout, you know what I'm saying? I got up there and I did 5, and then J-Rock get out there like, "Blood, you gonna let him out? Do you like that?" Right? So he instigating, and then Kendrick's like, "Nah, fuck that. Let me get back up there." Right? So he did his shit. But then the next day we had, you know, our own interaction. He was on his way to stage to perform in front of shit, I don't know, 20,000 people or
right.
something. And he was like, "Hey, Smoke, how your triceps feeling now though after push-up day?" Like, nigga, I can't damn near move. You know what I'm saying? So we had just a regular interaction. So then following the show, you know, when Rhythm and Flow came out, you know, a Day in Vegas, he had done his thing on stage already. We backstage kicking it. Well, me and Sir backstage kicking it.
Did he have his cowboy hat still on from Day in Vegas?
No, he didn't. So he came out his trailer and he was walking one way, looked to the right and noticed me. He came back like, "Smoke, like good shit, nigga." Like, and he just complimented. He was like, "The way you're able to get your shit off, like some real content amidst filming of a show was brilliant, bro." He was like, "Much respect." He's like, "I'm a fan." I was like, "Nigga, you stupid." Like, nigga. So he was like, "I'm a fan." He was like, "We gonna do something special for the city." You know, so and I don't believe these are people who just say those things just to
for
say
sure.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
I mean,
no.
you know, Kendrick's always like, it's about the music.
Absolutely.
You know, like
Absolutely.
he'll be. He's been. I mean, Rhapsody's early shit. Like, you know, like it's all about the music. I think with Dot.
Yeah.
You obviously being on the show, it seems like it's like a gift and a curse. Have you felt that? I felt like somehow too, though, you were like one of the only people who kind of avoided like the TV show thing,
Right.
You know, because I feel like when people are on TV shows or when they win them or they participate, like it's almost like, yeah, but you're like, it's like hard to get past that, especially on like some of these hip hop shows. You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about being super strategic and how Kendrick said that you got your point across, you got your shit off in the middle of doing that. Like how hard was that? And do you feel that kind of like you got to prove people wrong? Like I'm not just the guy on Netflix. Like I'm a real artist. I feel like anybody who watched the show knows that already, obviously.
Right. Well, the thing is, you're a part of a huge machine, right? So in most cases, the machine is gonna make you look like a small part of this big thing that is television, right? But I'm not a pawn. You know what I'm saying? So we, like me and my team had conversations before this. First, we determined, are we gonna do this? And that was a real conversation in and of itself.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this? It's like we don't have to. Because we're structured, we're set up to win already.
Right.
We're gonna win. Right? So when the determination was we gonna go for it, then it's like, okay, how do we do this? There's a specific way to approach something like that if you're me. I can't coach anybody who's not me on how to do this.
Right.
Because it has everything, one, to be in a with everything to do with being in a place in your own life where you could stand up and match the energy of this whole machine, right? Outside of this whole machine, you can still see who I am the whole way through.
True.
And half of that has to do with, I learned something from Sir. Like, your yeses mean so much when you know when to say no. You know, I said no along that process. DJ Hed knows when I said no because he knows the instructions that every contestant was given.
They were, yeah.
And he knows when I ignored them.
Certain rules.
On first couple rounds,
Yeah.
what did they tell everybody to do?
I think, well, it was a few things, actually. They told you, actually, you know what? They gave me a different set of, they told me 3 different things than they told you.
Right.
Low key.
But no, they told every contestant.
But they told us, you only get this time, no do-overs, you get, they told me to stop. Actually, they told me to cut y'all off a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
They said no talking, just go out there and do the.
No. That's not true.
That's what I'm saying.
For us.
For you?
For us, they said go out there, say what's up to the judges, interact with them, ask them how their day has been, you know, hype up the crowd, then turn to DJ Hed and be like, play the beat. For most people, there was a 30 seconds of stuff.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Stuff.
Like, making fun
Right?
of my outfit or, you know what, yeah.
Right? And then they'll be like, okay, it's
You
time
gonna
for the
catch
beat
me
now.
eating no hummus, nigga.
Period. But somehow he managed to make that shit
I like
brilliant
that
and
shit.
memorable.
I
Hell
like
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just a matter of knowing when to say no. I had to talk to some of the producers in a way that they really had to feel my energy at one point, because on the feature round, they said, I told him, look, I want to come out at a certain point, like as if it were a show where there's a guest performer, right? They were like, no, you're the contestant. You got to be on the stage the whole time. And then so I tried the diplomatic approach again. Like, you know, typically in a hip hop performance concert environment, it would go like this. You know, if I'm featured on a song, I would come out when that moment happens. The crowd goes nuts because now they've gotten this surprise. They were like, no, you're the contestant. Be on stage the whole time. So I was like,
that's true.
okay. Y'all sign us up with consultants every round. Y'all got King Los walking in the studio, giving us feedback.
Right.
Y'all got, you know, all these people telling us how to better what we're doing. Who do y'all consult with when it comes to making these rules? Do y'all want this to look stupid, or do you want it to look good for hip hop culture? Otherwise, like, if y'all don't have an answer to that question, I'm not gonna do it. And unless I sign something that specifically says I gotta be on stage all the time, I'm not coming out. Right? So figure it out.
And by this time, they're like, well, fuck, the show's already almost over.
Exactly. And that the
Do
thing
what
is,
you
like, my next, and I even said, I was like, y'all think I don't know how much money is being spent around here? Like, you can't just bully a motherfucker now. We late in the game. Like,
Right. Yeah,
Like,
it's too late now.
it's too late. I know how much y'all done already spent. If I get upset and I'm be like, fuck y'all, then y'all got a problem on
Then the
your
show
hands.
looks crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, they made the adjustments, and they was like, Smoke, you know, sorry, we didn't know it was that serious. And then some people came around and was like, you know, there's a way to do it. You don't have to go big. I was like, no, you know what? I agree with that 9 times out of 10, but had I acted like it wasn't that big of a deal,
You would have been
You
out
know,
there
we-
looking like a goofball.
Like a goofball.
During, you know,
like a goofball.
during Miguel's whole shit.
So, and again, I credit them for making those adjustments
Right.
ultimately, because it was enough. The beauty of that process is it was enough people committed to doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it was moving so fast that they didn't know how to make that happen. And then the contestants had to step up and be like, hey, we know this culture. Let us help you
That's a
make
fact.
this shit authentic. You know? And so it ultimately happened that way. And if you watch the show, you see when every artist came out. You know,
It
I
seemed
just happened to go first.
it seemed like you were extremely patient with after the show. Like, I'm assuming everyone was trying to sign you.
Mm-hmm.
And
We had those
you were,
conversations.
I bet. You know, I know that Inglewood High came out independently. But why were you so patient, and what about going to Empire as opposed to an Atlantic Records or a Def Jam or whatever was appealing to you?
Right. Well, first, I value ownership, right? I'm not giving my creative property to anybody, right? 2, a lot of people sign to get the degree of exposure that I already got from being on the show. Like our wild card, our like risk was whether or not to do the show. Now that it's turned out the way it has, everybody, of course, they're gonna want to be, You know, it's
something no
unprecedented.
label could even give you.
Not at all.
Right.
Not to that extent.
Right.
No,
right.
it would cost way more than labels spend on
100%.
any one artist.
Facts.
Period. They don't spend like the budget for the show. That's how I feel. I feel like that's my promotional budget.
Facts.
Hey,
You know,
that's
that's
real
how much.
shit.
That's how much visibility we got.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna come hand you this so that you can try to dangle $2 million over my head. Like they was offering us a couple mil, but what we told them we wanted was not in the agreements that they
were proposing.
And labels don't look at publicity as a bargaining chip. That's not publicity. A certain amount of exposure is not leverage to labels. Labels are looking for a track record of revenue. And that's it.
100%.
If you can't be like, my last 4 projects
Then
generated this amount and my shows generate this amount already,
They're gonna put you in a fucked up deal.
period. They're gonna give you what they think you deserve.
Yeah.
And I'm not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So
Like, yeah, you're on the Netflix show. That's cool and all, but what have you done
Period.
that can bring in, you know?
how do we know this is a sound investment on our part?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not to knock, the labels got brilliant people that work there, right? But
And they have their business model.
exactly.
You know?
The people who work these records aren't the people who write the contracts.
Correct.
We got to make that distinction. I sat down with beautiful people at the labels who I still keep up with. They'll follow up and be like, sorry, we couldn't make the deal happen, man, but Smoke, I'm wishing you the best. I'm over here. Call me if you need anything.
It's the job of the lawyers, man, to really
Period.
put you in a fucked up space.
Business affairs.
100%.
Business affairs has those difficult conversations like we can or can't. And then the people in the offices are like, fuck, we still work for the label. You know what I'm
And
saying?
Empire, you get ownership.
I get ownership, and it's a simple conversation because Empire, it's like the beautiful thing, like signing to a major label is like a private jet that comes with a pilot, right? Empire is like a private jet. You're the pilot. So all of the different mechanisms you have at your advantage.
You just
But
got to
if you
know
don't know how to
use them.
fly,
That's
bitch,
some real
you ain't
shit.
going nowhere.
Facts.
Now the label will be like, get in there, we going somewhere.
Yeah.
And you a passenger in that.
Kick your feet up,
Kick
and
your feet up. You know, now if you're not a business minded, you know, networking, entrepreneurial type, independent, you know, mogul, you know, then that's cool. You know, that is a certain type of arrival. So many people strive to get there, you know, and when they do, then they go for the ride. And hopefully they make some smart investments with the money they do make at some point. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, if you sign some of them first offer deals that they want to see,
Oh,
that
yeah, you're fucked.
man, it might be the only money you see for a long time. And
gotta
what a
recoup
lot of
everything.
niggas don't know is, man, you could spend any amount of money, bro.
If you don't know how to spend it.
you could spend any amount of money, bro. You know, I learned that because I got the biggest check I've seen prior to all this shit was a $85,000 check.
damn.
You know what I'm saying? At once, I saw it, check with my name on it, said 86.9 something.
Damn.
And I was like, and that's from the song that I wrote for Jaheim called Never. Mechanical royalties take a long time to come in, and I had seen a 50,000, 35, this, that. When it was on the radio, it was playing, but when the mechanicals hit after a year and some change, at a point when I wasn't even expecting it, you know, I was like, oh shit. And so for a second, I'm in the money. They treat you different in the bank. Like, you don't got to wait in line when you bring checks in like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You bring one in, the next time you walk in, they're like, no, just come over here.
Mr. Ferris over here.
Right, exactly. You know, they be flirting with you and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I always say that, like, you always see these artists that, like, you know, they're funded by investors or dope boys or whatever, and it's like, yo, just because you got the money, like, that doesn't mean shit if you don't know what you're doing with the money.
Period. So, and that's why I'm glad I blew that money. Then had to learn how to survive and do this whole movement off a teacher's salary because it just teaches you the value of it. Like, damn, I went through $86,000 in a matter of months, but somehow after I blew it, I learned how to make two extra grand a month into a consistent movement. Now that we got a little budget, you know what I'm saying? We not just blowing it. It's meaningful when we spend it. And then when we don't need to, we just rest. You know what I'm saying? Plan, strategize, have them conversations. You know, so Empire allows us to do exactly that. But when it's go time, it's go time.
And you can drop whenever the fuck you want, as
Whatever the
much as
fuck
you want.
And
Like, I want to drop a song tomorrow.
Period. Period.
You touched on the teacher thing. I know that was a big. It actually died down a little bit, which I don't understand. But the teachers not being paid properly in Los Angeles County, surrounding areas, stuff like that. Where you stand on that? Like, how do you feel about that? As far as, because I personally know a couple of teachers, and they are not paid what they should be getting
Not at
paid,
all.
especially
I don't think
not in
anywhere.
LA Unified School District.
Right. You know what? I think there was a conversation that I heard about some years back about how to incentivize teacher performance. Like, if there's a way to measure how good a teacher is and pay them according to the difference that they're making.
It's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying? From student evaluations to parent interaction, the people who really matter, like the students can damn near choose. Like, that's the teacher that should make good bread. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're being impactful, then there's no limit on it. Because it's like, imagine if inspiration was commissioned. You can't fake it.
Yeah.
You can't fake it. The students vote with their feet.
No, 100%.
They show up to your class ready to learn. That means you're doing something right.
You have an incentive to make a difference in the kid's life. As opposed to just, because some of these teachers are fucking trash.
Trash.
Did
And their pay would reflect it.
Yeah.
Then you would have this trend of teachers being like, what does it actually mean to be a great teacher? Then you start having the teachers then you create other types of revenue,
Well, then you
like
got
the
people
teachers
who
who do
want to
well.
be teachers. Because I think that's an issue now. It's like, it's very, very open. Like, we all know teachers don't make shit.
Period.
It's a very selfless job to take.
Right.
And you got to go to school and get yourself into debt. And it's like, for what? To make $40,000 a year? Like,
I think educators should be treated with the same esteem as doctors, lawyers, and stuff, because they're in control of lives, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you had to make the judgments? Like, what would you do to incentivize better educators, better system? Like, what would you do?
That what I just told you is the first order of business. Like, how do you create an evaluation system that determines how good this teacher really is, and it has to include feedback from the students. When I was
mandatory
students in the community, like, because the students know, the parents know before they ever meet a teacher, because the students go home talking about this one class.
Facts.
And for me, I knew that to be Mr. Ferris's class, and it was just a matter of pedagogy that's based in knowing the students, being sensitive to who they are and what they want out of the class experience, and being passionate about what you're doing and being fully present. Because they know the difference. They know when somebody's there for ulterior motives, and they know when somebody's there like, dang, he learned our names by the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? And if he has some feedback for me, he'll pull me to the side to where you can't miss the purpose of this. Like, if I give you feedback in front of the class, you know what I'm saying? That might feel like I'm being called out. That might feel like you want to embarrass me to prove a point versus you want me to understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little things that the students recognize that go such a long way. If you ask the students, who's the best? You know, what class are you really affected by, and what class is changing and shaping your perspective, then they'll tell you. Now, if that is taken into consideration on how teachers are paid, we'd be in a whole different world.
Right.
All the teachers, that's the biggest incentive you have to just get better and do better. You know what I'm saying? And who better to tell you who's the best teacher than the students? You're creating a product, and that's your population that you're supposed to serve.
Obviously, being from LA, you know, Kobe just passing away a little over a week ago, man. How did that affect you?
Man, we had just landed in New York, and we was crying in the car on the way to the hotel. In the hotel, I mean, from the flight, because we literally just landed. When we turn our phones on, that's the first thing that we heard, and you could hear people gasping because everybody on the flight just came from LA.
Right.
You could hear people gasping on the plane, like, what? And it's the whole plane is talking about it at once. And then and you just hear people like, his daughter was with him too.
Wow,
and the news just kept rolling in. And so when we got in the car, that's when it really hit us like, oh my God, our hero is gone. You know? So I started crying. You know, my nephew called me, and that made it worse because he looks up to me, like,
right.
You know, that's my protege. So he was like, I just needed to hear your voice because, you know, we lost one hero, and you my tangible hero. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Smoke, help me make sense of this. And I really couldn't. And I told him, like, I I don't know what to
I
say.
got nothing for you.
And so we just basically was like, bro, I love you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest impact that's happening around LA. People are like, we're not skipping no moments. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get some I love yous from people that don't always express
Facts.
it. You know what I'm saying? Shaq was like, hey, y'all can bet I'm gonna tell you I love you every time. You can count on
Yeah,
that.
Shaq
You know what
shit
I'm
was
saying?
tough to see too, man.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, bro. My God, because you watch them grow together and then get to a point where as grown, retired men, they can laugh about, you know,
The
how everything
bullshit.
played out.
Yeah,
The bullshit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sit across from each other with undeniable admiration. Looking at each other like when it's all said and done, like, man, bro, you a different version of myself. You know what I'm saying? So to watch Shaq go through it, watch LeBron go through it, and just to relive these moments where people who were close to him had a chance to really interact with him as a man, it's just like, it's heartbreaking. And then it just causes so many people to reflect, like, what does it all mean?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I'm from Arizona, so I grew up a Suns fan. So I hated Kobe. Like as like a kid, like I just didn't fuck with Kobe. But it wasn't like because I'm supposed to hate the Lakers. I'm from
Right,
Phoenix.
yeah, it's
You know what I'm
plenty of
saying?
people that hate the Lakers. We
But,
easy
like,
to hate.
Nah, bro. But like you said, like when I found that, bro,
Especially when
I
you look
cried.
up
Like
in the
'cause
Staples Center.
that kid, like you can ask Head. Like I'm an NBA fanatic. So like just Kobe was a part of my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Everybody's.
And I watched him play so much basketball, and like I have kids, and the fact that his daughter was involved. But yeah, like watching Shaq and Jerry West and everybody balling, it was like, fuck, man.
Balling.
This is rough. This is real rough.
Hey, you being tapped into the Latino community so heavily. What about? Do you have any thoughts on like the whole like DACA thing, and like, do you have anybody that's personally affected by the Trump shit? Like, cause I know 2 people that was rounded up by ICE and shit like that. And do you know anything about that? I know it's a lot of Latinos you fuck with in the city.
Yes. So my experience with that, like when I was teaching at Hawkins High School, shout out to Hawkins. It was the second to last school I taught at. That was the first community where, on a regular basis, I had students who recently came from Latin America. You know, and there were students that came from El Salvador, and they were telling me, I was like, man, that's one place in Central America I haven't gone to. I gotta stop by there. They was like, don't, like, que no vayas, está feo. It's like, it's ugly over there right now. You know, and so a lot of people were coming over to escape, like the situation there, and these are young people, some of which did this journey by themselves,
Like teenagers.
Damn. 15 years old.
Damn.
You know, and then, so I've heard stories of them being like, you know, they would come in crying some days and be like, you know, to school, my dad got deported. You know what I'm saying? And that's their reality right there at that moment.
15.
You know what I'm saying? 15.
That's crazy.
You know, and it's just interesting because, you know, the natives didn't deport the Europeans when they got here. You feel me? Like, that's really what it was. Like, who should have got deported? You know what I'm saying?
Is there any other people running for president that you fuck with? Obviously, the Iowa caucus shit is tonight. Like,
right. To be completely honest, I haven't been following that. When I do vote, when I do speak on topics, I like to be really
educated.
informed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And because we've been focusing on closing out this project, we've kind of been in that bubble. You know, I do plan on getting involved. I think it's early. A lot of people ask me like, you know, you got this new amount of publicity, you know, or influence, you know, you should utilize it for a political cause, right? But, you know, I feel like addressing problems at the roots, it has always been the most tangible way to affect change. And my biggest impact has always been with the youth. You know what I'm saying? People who aren't of voting age, you know, so I focus my energy on that. I do vote, you know what I'm saying? When I vote, I do so from an informed standpoint, but I don't think it makes sense. My greatest contribution to society is not on a political campaign so much. So I haven't been putting a lot of energy into that.
So Rhythm and Flow, if they do a season 2, would you be interested in like being a part of the show? Because obviously, you know,
if they do a season 2, I think it would make sense for me to appear at some point. You know, it's a legit experience that people shared with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I could lend a lot of wisdom from both ends, from a production standpoint. Like, how do we do this? how do we make viewers watch it again?
Mhm.
You know, and also for the contestants to be able to shake hands, because I know what that feels like. You know, being on that side of it,
Yeah.
walking into a big ass room where it's 6 cameras, 30 contestants, and 3 judges who you got to keep a certain distance from because you're not at that stage where you can actually shake their hands yet. Like, I know what that's like. So I see myself saying what's up, you know, and reaching back and
Mhm.
interacting with them. But not like a long-term judge kind
Right,
of thing.
right,
You
yeah.
know, I think
Let's say, I think we about a year removed from the show now.
a year removed
Okay, we about a year removed from the show
filming
now.
it.
From filming the
from
show.
finishing filming. it.
From the show. What would you tell D Smoke day one as of today?
I would tell D Smoke day one, I would tell him it's a drug deal. You got guns, they got guns. You got crack in the form of music, talent, they need that. But if you show weakness, they'll take advantage of you
He'll rob your ass.
and rob you. You'll leave looking like a fool. You know, nobody's gonna respect your product. And now you have a huge amount of publicity that you have to work against because it's negative publicity.
It could have turned into like one of those typical reality shows.
Period.
I feel like they were. It felt like it was getting kind of pushed in that direction.
Period.
Would you ever do any other
No.
No, done.
No.
No reality shows,
Nope.
nothing.
I will make another appearance on Rhythm and Flow to be like, look, this was real. You know what I'm saying? And it did change my life. This is true.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Changed my life. Other than that, no. I have no interest in returning to the reality TV world. I didn't consider it a reality TV experience when I did it, even though for other people that's what it was.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, I think the producers of the show were glad that I didn't, because it allowed the show to be something different.
To breathe.
And it had everything to do with who they chose to be on there, from the DJs, the judges,
No, it was
you know, and myself, other contestants.
flawlessly
as
put
well.
together. Out of the
put together.
out of the contestants, well, shout out to Flo.
Shout out to
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I didn't do that on purpose.
And Troy Man in London. And
No,
all the other
are you?
homies.
Do you keep in contact with any of the other contestants?
Absolutely. We, you know, the final 4 are all artists that I respect and got all the love in the world for. So we check in with each other, you know, like, how you been, bro? What's going on?
Right.
And you know, me and Troy Man in particular, we have conversations where we strategize, you know what I'm saying? And London came through Inglewood one time, and somebody hit me like, hey, London's over here. So I just
Wow.
pulled up on her.
That's what's
You
up.
know? Yeah. So, and it's just beautiful, man, because those are people that you have this unique experience with that's like, bro, nobody really knows what we went through. You know what I'm saying? Not the producers, not nobody
Yeah.
other than us. Because at the end of it, you know, whatever the result was, at the end of it, we all had that experience and went from the beginning all the way to the end.
Well,
That's a fact.
Black Habits,
Black Habits.
the album, it's out.
It's not only for
out.
black people.
It's not
for
only
everybody.
for black people. No. No. It is certainly about black people and more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about us, my people, my family, you know, and it's about life, you know. Even if it's not about you, everybody can benefit from real life music, you know. So
More dope visuals on the way.
yes.
Yo,
we
who
got
shoots your
movies.
videos? Please shout them out, because
Man, okay, so I work with a couple different teams. For the No Commas video, my boy Justin
That shit's hard.
shot that. Justin Jemison. He actually went to Inglewood High with me, and he ended up investing in himself. He got the red camera, and he was always doing dope ass projects. And I was like, you know, it's rare that your homies do something that complements what you're doing. So I reached to him like, let's put something together, you know. So I wrote the treatment, and then a friend of mine named Janine Daniels, I got at her like, look, I'm gonna be on this side of the camera. I still, even though I came up with the treatment and the concept, I need somebody who can make sure that we're capturing that energy that we want to come across in the video. So she directed it, and you know, with a
Janine,
small,
that's who you told me about.
exactly.
Okay.
So with a small crew of people, we put it together. Then for Honey Jack, we got a Child, and Child is brilliant. Like, so Child is one of those people. For Honey Jack, I still told her like, look, I picture myself for these first, because the first couple verses are more introspective. I'm like the bus boy in my own head as I'm serving people, you know, thinking through what I gotta do, and then I'm getting lit on a job, and by the end of it, I, muster up the courage to get on stage and do my shit, like snatch the mic, do that. And so she took that, embellished it, added the details that make it this timepiece that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's just a brilliant filmmaker. I worked with Nick Sokolov on Lil Red, and again, Lil Red, I was like, we could do this in one space, a studio space, and the way we stage it, tell this story, so it's that kind of video. And again, Nick, and Sterling, who was the DP, they put together this plan on how to get that across. And so my favorite camera to shoot on is the Arri Alexa. I just believe when you start off on a certain caliber, you want to go forward from there. You know what I'm saying? And that's my favorite, Canon to shoot.
Hardest question to let you go on. What's your top 5 favorite albums, D Smoke? I'm very curious.
My top 5
of all time.
Ooh, of all time.
Don't have to be in order.
Artists?
Don't have to be in order.
Albums.
Fuck.
Not in order.
Not artists.
I'm gonna go.
Just give us 5.
I'm gonna go AT Aliens.
Okay. Okay. You're an AT Aliens guy. I see.
I'm gonna go AT Aliens.
I'm an Aquemini man.
You an Aquemini man? I love Aquemini, but over AT Aliens, Aquemini is brilliant.
It's my choice.
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go AT Aliens. I'm gonna go Miseducation.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Corruption.
Okay.
Oh, you not fair. I'm gonna go Doggy Style. No.
Wait, you're going Corruption over Streets as a Mother?
Let him finish.
I'm sorry.
I love Streets as a Mother.
Calling out names,
but
man.
Calling out names.
Just finish your list. Do your list.
Motherfuck M. Only X I know is Exhibit and RBX Extraordinary. Trying to snatch my bitch. You can have a bitch. 2 bitches just rich. Just to come to the West Coast and get stripped down, beat to death, stripped all over a bitch.
Yo, Roscoe's verse on that second record.
I ain't finished, bro.
Anyway, you got 3 more. 2 more.
I said AT Aliens, Miseducation. Corruption.
You said Doggy Style.
I said I gotta.
He took it back.
I took it
Okay,
back.
you took it back.
And see, my thing is, my favorites ain't everybody's favorites.
Just go.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Blue Carpet Treatment.
Oh shit!
I know.
Okay, one more.
I know. Motherfuckers be like, why that? That's my shit.
One more.
Blue Carpet Treatment. Shout out to Snoop. They used to sell that at the swap meet.
And I'm gonna go Gift and the Curse.
So
Jay-Z?
Yes.
Yo, listen, we gotta have this discussion about the Gift and the Curse. Meet the Parents is the greatest story ever told. I feel like it's the best storytelling in hip hop history is on that record. Like there's some shit on Gift and the Curse that's bad. Or not bad, but just less than par. But Meet the Parents.
Grass is cut, the snakes a show. Gotta thank the little homie Nas for that though. Saving me the hassle of speaking to half of these assholes.
Bro,
and I'm gonna let karma catch up to Jazzo.
Yo, that is one of the most.
You had your chance to miss me. Mama can't save you this time. Niggas is history. Who you know flow vicious as me and so religiously. That's why they call me ho. I get the spoils because the victor is me. Me, nigga. You're an actor. You're not who you depicted to be. You're street dreaming. All your niggas living through me. I gave you life when niggas was forgetting you MC. I'm a legend. You should take a picture with me. Just be happy to be in my presence. I should charge you a fee. I'm Big Dog, Glen Rob. Listen, guard you a flea. And the little homie Jungle just is guarding me. What's the problem, B? You're not as hard as me. Nigga, hard as we.
Yo, that's my shit.
SMOKE, nigga.
Yo.
That's why they follow me. They feel my pain and my agony. Nigga, come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Kill that beat, bro.
Come on, bro.
Yo, it's like the most least talked about Hove album. And that shit's crazy.
I love it.
Cause Meet the Parents is I'll be like, yo, if you ain't heard Meet the Parents, it's like
The Gift and the Curse.
I respect that.
Man, those are mine. And that's the hardest question you can ask, bro. Because
I knew it was a hard one.
It's so many people that I did not. That's why 5 is that number where you force people to be selective and be
I'm a
decisive.
Doggy Style's in my top 5 and Aquemini's in my top 5.
When you said your favorite ain't everybody's favorite, it sounded like you didn't have to defend yourself a few times.
Oh yeah. Why? Because people be like, why?
This is my shit over here.
Why that one?
Blue Carpet Treatment. What?
Why that one? It's just
solid album. But
I think that would be a first on the show.
That's the one. I
like Last Meal more than that one.
That's the one I would put in my car, bro.
I like Last Meal. Anyway, yo, I appreciate you coming through, D Smoke. The album is out.
The album is out now.
Let's get into it. What are we playing? We playing No Comments? What are you playing for the city of LA, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we play No Comments.
Okay, what you want to play?
Well, let's just hope we got the album clean. Okay,
got the album clean.
We got the
Yeah,
album
yeah,
clean.
yeah.
We'll play whatever the fuck you want, man.
We could play it all. Play No Commas. Play Black Habits 1. Play Sun-Kissed Child featuring Jill Scott. And
Introduce
Igor.
whatever one
Introduce
you want.
one of those songs.
One of
right
those?
now.
We gonna play Sun-Kissed Child featuring Iguocho and Jill Scott.
Oh, right. L.A. Off the album. Black Habits. D Smoke.
Yes.
Real 92.3.